Well, I've somehow made a career for myself in data analytics and transparency. And the genesis of Cleargov, I think, came from I think a question that a lot of people have: just where are my property taxes, or just where are my taxes going in general, right? And being the data nerd that I am, I actually started researching it in my town. I went to my town's website, and particularly I was interested in an initiative that the town was trying to pass to build a new school, and they had to take on about $40 million in debt. And my son would be going to that school, and the article kept on failing, so the town kept on voting it down. And so I was curious, how much debt does our town really have? Is this a big problem? I went on my town's website, and it turns out they were being transparent. They had a 350-page annual report on there in a PDF form, and about 250 pages deep, there were financials there. They were very confusing. There was a lot of terminology I didn't get, transfers between funds, and but I could see that there was about $70 million in debt in the town. And then my next question was, well, is that a lot or is that a little? If most towns have $5 million in debt, then that's a bad thing. If most towns have $500 million, then that's not so bad. And so I started going down this path of looking at other cities in the area and creating the spreadsheet. My wife thought I was crazy, but I eventually found that all the towns in Massachusetts every year had to submit their finances to the Department of Revenue. And in a deep, dark corner of the Department of Revenue's website, there was this lonely Excel file that had all of their finances for every single town on there. And I thought, well, this is interesting. I'm wondering if other towns do this. And the more and more research I did, I found that many states are now opening their finances and making this data available. And really, it was an initiative started in the Obama era where they started making the federal government more transparent, and many states followed through. But it felt like they were just taking this data and throwing it over the wall and saying, you go do with it whatever you want. And no one was doing anything with it. So that really became the genesis of the idea was, what if we collected all this data and turned it into really easy to understand infographic-based profiles where any resident could go onto our site, type in the name of their city or town, and not only see where the money is coming from and where it's going to, but put that in context of other cities. So we break down all the spending and all the taxes and revenues on a per capita basis, and then identify similar communities based upon population, home values, commercialization metrics, things like that. So you can find similar communities and then compare those metrics. So when we launched the site, I could actually see that my town had 29% less debt on a per capita basis than similar communities in the area. And I thought, that's just, really interesting. And that really kind of brought the conversation home to me. So we went out there and, fast forward, 5 or so years later, we've now built the world's largest municipal financial database, and we have profiles on, I think, maybe over 45,000 communities, and including school districts across the country now. And it's been really quite a success.